You've waited a lifetime to look better and feel better, and now here's your chance. Fitness Friday on WNDB. Call 239-0033 and have your questions answered on health, fitness, and a better life. Fitness Friday is brought to you by Bodez by Tasso & Company, 1140 West Granada Boulevard in Ormond Beach. And now, here's your host, Tasso Kyriakis.
All right. Well, welcome to Fitness Friday, and we're in studio today with Mitch from Love Whole Food. And Mitch, we're going to be at a big event we'll talk about in a few minutes, but we're going to be at the Holistic Health Fair, and Catherine will be joining us with that in a minute. But we have a good friend that is fallen prey to the stress cycle, and the many things that can occur to you because of stress. You know, stress is something that can be good and it can be bad. But unfortunately, chronic stress, this oxidative stress we put on our body, whether it be physical, mental, mechanical, can certainly have a big effect. So I'd like people to have, in the short time we've got today of our first 15 minutes of show, for people to have a couple takeaway points. Number one, that stress is normal and some kinds of stress are good. Number two is you can learn how to better manage and nourish your body for stress. And chronic stress can affect every physical and psychological system that we have. And I've got 10 points that Dave would tell you it usually takes me hours to go through that. But let me get your input to stress first. And now I'm going to come give you my 10 and let you put a little snippet to each one of them.
Well, you and I both have made this partnership because you work on the physical stress side. I've dedicated my energies for the last 2.5 decades with overcoming nutritional stress, and that it comes in a whole number of different areas. This caffeine issue that was just in the news media. Caffeine is a nutritional stressor on the first order, especially when you combine it with high fructose corn syrup. We've got problems with type 2 diabetes. My last article newspaper article was about Alzheimer's. This mutual friend of ours that just ended up in the emergency room. Cardiovascular disease is self-evident that the whole house is on fire. The whole vascular system from scalp to toe. You can get a stroke in any location. Unfortunately, what the purpose of our work is to try to help people to avoid that.
Well, you do it from a nutritional standpoint, and I do it from a standpoint of physical exercise, because really the culprit, as we heard at the presentation at Love Whole Foods on Thursday night by Dr. Self and Dr. Wysikowski and their associate, is that inflammation is the thing that we're battling. So I'm going to run down a few of these.
Yeah, but I think it's a bigger issue for those out listening. It's balance. It's balance in every element. If you're OCD with working out, that's as bad as being OCD with not eating food, let's say with a food dysfunction like anorexia. It's balance.
And I agree. Moderation in all things.
Right.
And then being very attentive. So here, you hit on a couple of these, but let's run down these and get a quick commentary. Number one, stress and a negative oxidative stress, it messes with your brain.
Absolutely. And it's a good thing because you know the physiology of how endorphins are actually stimulated by good physical stress. But when your adrenal glands are exhausted and the recovery time is taking days, then you know you've got that canary that's singing that just says, I need those basics. The basics are water. You emphasize it. I don't know if our mutual friend was hydrating enough, but when you turn that rheostat up, you need the basics. You need omega-3 fatty acids. You need those electrolytes. Think to the listening audience, Gatorade. Come in and pick up the latest article on the ingredient that the FDA made them take out of Gatorade. You want electrolytes. You just don't want it with phony sugars and salt. And then you need the WD-40. I wrote a whole article on the title of the article was Boost Your Brain and Get Serene. You need that omega-3 fatty acid not only to lubricate the joints so you don't tear your rotator cuff, but also just to keep that brain from reaching or the it's WD-40 in the cardiovascular system. It makes it so that you don't get a stroke, which we assume is what happened to our friend.
And number two is stress increases the risk of heart attack, heart disease, and stroke. And the study that I've quoted so much in the last 3 or 4 months is a study of 137,000 cases of heart disease, heart incidences occurring where heart attacks were documented. And in that case, the C-reactive protein in 100% of those people was elevated. The cholesterol number in those people was 50% had normal or below normal, and 50% had high. So we see that cholesterol didn't have a lot to do with it. And you've already hit on omega-3s in that.
And that whole cholesterol myth, again, when folks come to the fair tomorrow, I'm bringing a copy of that article that just, it takes head on this myth, this insanity of lowering cholesterol to the point where there's the brain can't function, the heart can't function, and this isn't me talking. This isn't the rangy gray-haired guy that runs a Whole Foods store. The article will state the studies that were done at Harvard Medical School, the backed up with exactly what Tasso's saying.
Okay, number three, stress dials down your immune system, so you're going to get sick a lot more when you have stress.
And that goes right back to the adrenals.
Number four, chronic stress contributes to aging, what we know now about the destruction of the telomeres that are a great sign for watching the aging process.
And the key to that, get a good night's sleep, because guess what you do? You recalibrate, you reset the aging clock and to your advantage, as opposed to having being cut off at the knees where you wake up more exhausted than when you went to bed.
Number five, stress contributes to weight gain and digestive disorders. And I think in our society, we see more digestive disorders occurring now because of stress inhibiting and killing off the probiotics of the body. Talk a little bit about that and the use of getting the gut back in shape.
Well, the foundation of the human immune system is that 4 pounds of, it's described as a biomass. That biomass literally produces all the major B vitamins that Dr. Kilmer McCulley, MD, Harvard Medical School, said was responsible for keeping the cholesterol in balance. It isn't that cholesterol is bad. It's keeping the LDL, HDL, and actually there's some other lipids, as you well know, right, that need to be in balance. But if you don't have those good B vitamins, then what happens is you're running on empty. And the gut is where the majority, especially B12, it's funny, the medical establishment is really opposed to orthomolecular supplementation, but there isn't a listener out there that's past 60 that doesn't have a parent that's getting jacked up with a B12 shot.
Okay, well, so hold on one minute. I want you to back off.
Boost your gut, and you can do that. You can make your own.
I want you to back off 1 minute. I want you to go back and explain to people orthomolecular. What was that word you used?
Orthomolecular supplementation, taking fat-stored vitamins A, D, E, and K, which are essential. They're called essential vitamins because the machinery of the human body can't make them unless you're eating. That's what it's all about. It's about food, and you need to eat food that has those essential nutrients. Everyone out there understands fish oil. Fish oil is called an essential fatty acid. It's essential because if you don't make it, you don't get the DHA that is critical for preventing blood clots and Alzheimer's, which, by the way, didn't exist before World War II. I don't care what the medical community says. Anybody that's got one eye and one finger can Google Alzheimer's, reverse the information, and go back and look. In the 30s, when we went through the last depression, and people worked from sun up until sundown, and that was a real crisis. There was no Alzheimer's. There was dementia. That is a totally different issue than Alzheimer's. But going back to that gut and orthomolecular supplementation, you take probiotics because the entire food supply is suffused with antagonists to good gut flora. Think high fructose corn syrup, which is genetically modified, but also think in the foods with those hidden antibiotics. The antibiotics are everywhere in the dairy industry, in the meats. it we've since World War II, we've seen the advent of heart disease that didn't exist before World War II, and that's the advent of eating corn and doing corn oils instead of fish oils, which was the standard.
Cod liver oil
liver oil.
That's right.
I'm from New England. I asked people from Massachusetts, what's the state symbol of Massachusetts? It's the cod. Those guys knew what they were doing.
Right. All right. So we talked about that a little bit. I'm going to run down the other ones real quick because we have Kathleen on the phone. And a lot of people, we'll be able to talk to you about this. A lot of people, and everyone builds upon the other one and creates a vicious cycle. And in regards to the last one about digestive disorders and what you were talking about this biomass in the body, I want to call people's attention to the Scientific American article in June of this year, talks about the role of bacterial activity in our bodies and how a lot of the medications we are taking destroys that biomass. So, and let's bring Kathleen in. So, Kathleen, we're talking about. I have a 10 thing list of what stress does, and tomorrow when they come to your event, they can probably find numerous people who are going to be able to help with these things I've talked. Now, the first 6 were that messes with the brain. Number 2 is stress increases risk of heart attack and heart disease and stroke. Number 3, it dials down your immune system. Number 4, chronic stress contributes to aging. Number 5, it contributes to weight gain and digestive disorders. Number 6, chronic stress affects your moods and relationships. Number 7, stress increases pain. Number 8, stress affects sexuality and reproductive functions. Number 9, chronic stress affects your hair, teeth, and skin. And number 10, stress contributes to addictions. So tomorrow at your health fair, the holistic health fair, we're going to be able to probably see a lot of vendors, because you said we've had a great turnout of vendors that can help them. And the event is going to occur at Sunshine Park Mall. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, March the 30th. So we're down to the wire. That's at 2400 South Ridgewood Avenue. I imagine it's a little too late for people to come into the show now, is it?
Well, it's interesting. I just received another phone call. We are up to 106 vendors at this point. This has just become huge. And we do find room for all. We make space where we have never made space before. So build it and they will come. We just open up the doors and we're just finding space. We'll be over there this afternoon about 3 o'clock setting up tables and moving things around just, to make it work, because it will work. I know it will. It can work. We do have the space. We just have to be really creative. And I just opened up today's newspaper, and in the Go 386 calendar section of the News Journal, they have a nice little piece about the fair tomorrow. And we have a lot of vendors that have joined us this week. We have 5 nursing students coming from the nursing department of Daytona State College, and they'll be doing blood pressure screenings, height and weight, BMI screenings, vision screenings, and things of that nature. And then we have Midtown Eco Village, and they teach children how to make healthy smoothies.
Oh, so are they going to be making healthy smoothies, or are they going to have to come to our booth to see Mitch to get the healthy smoothies?
Oh, well.
Are you going to bring some smoothie recipes tomorrow?
We'll hand out some packets, and sure, I've got a really good smoothie formula that was put together by the head of pediatric neurology at McGill University. I'll make a note. I'll bring that along with me.
Okay.
That sounds wonderful.
See what happens to you Kathleen, when you're involved with WNDB, Bodez by Tasso and Company, and Love Full Foods. We're packing the place.
I love it. I just love it. And Randy McKenzie will be joining us soon from the TM organization,
The
Transcendental Meditation. And he's been teaching TM for almost 40 years. And I just met him recently, and I've been doing TM for 38 years.
Right.
He has taught 800 people in countries such as India, the Philippines, the United States, and then also in New Jersey, New York, Colorado, New Mexico. And he serves in different administrative positions for the organization. So he'll be joining us shortly. And that really touches my heart, because I'd never met anyone in the state of Florida who is involved in transcendental meditation. So we're very excited to have him there as well. And it's a wonderful form of meditation that addresses all of those points that you listed, of all the things that we have as challenges here in the 21st century.
Well, one of my takeaway points that when Mitch and I first started talking about this today is I had 3 takeaway points, and I wanted people to understand that stress is normal. In fact, some kinds of stress are good. You're going through a lot of stress putting this great event together, as you've probably maybe more or less than you had in the past, because now you have more experience. Your body's adapted to handling that stress. You know there's certain things like last-minute vendors, and you have a game plan to handle that. So you have the second point. You've learned how to handle and manage stress, and transcendental meditation, as yoga, as exercise, are all tools to that end to handle that. We hear an awful lot about biofeedback, which I'm sure you're going to have some vendors with that at the thing.
And of course, yoga has been so outstanding. I mean, yoga is an extension of the biofeedback phenomenon of the 70s.
I love yoga. Yeah.
I mean, TM is what started it, but yoga is certainly what our listeners relate to.
I love blueberry yogurt. Oh, yoga. Now, all right.
Blueberry yoga, I like that. It's a very special discipline. It's a little messy if you don't pull off the movement right. But,
hey, they have hot yoga. We could always make yogurt yoga. We could get a room filled with yoga.
That's great. I love it.
All right. So then the third one I had was chronic stress can affect every physical and psychological system, and you will have tomorrow. I know that Align Chiropractic, who spoke at Mitch's place in Ormond Beach, you know, these guys deal with that. They deal with looking at the numbers and helping you from the standpoint of creating a pathway to get better. So there are going to be a lot of great resources to help you with those 3, and probably could go right down my top 10.
Kathleen, is Align going to be there? Are they going to be at the?
Yes.
Are they signed up? Well, that's great. Then folks can pick. If they weren't able to make the program Wednesday night, they can catch up. They were a great crew.
In fact, we're waiting to hear back, Kathleen. We're waiting to hear back about getting an oxygen bar at one of our 3 booths that we have. We'll have WNDB will be there with Terry Saviston will be there to greet people, and then Mitch and I will be at the same table. But if you need space, we get along really good with the boys from Alliance. So you can move us over to one of those 41, 42, 43 tables,
right.
And then that'll open up a table for you, and we won't worry if we can't get the oxygen bar in.
Oh, no, we're fine. We've created space in other points in the mall because that area is already filled. But thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's working out beautifully.
All
really
right, good
is.
enough. So tell us a little bit more about some of the expectations you have for the fair tomorrow.
Well, I expect everybody to have a wonderful time. I know we have a lot more for children that we haven't had in the past. We had Raggedy Ann a few years ago, and she'll be back painting children's faces. The Easter Bunny will be hopping around, just talking to children and having fun. And I just
wait, the Easter Bunny's going to talk?
Yeah, the Easter Bunny talks.
Really?
A talking Easter Bunny.
Silly wabbit. Twix are for kids.
And then I just received a call from Aflac Insurance, represented by Claudia Gosline, and she'll be bringing a balloon machine. She'll be making balloons for children.
Well, I'm glad she's not bringing the Aflac duck, because you see the Aflac duck chasing the Easter rabbit through the Sunshine Park Mall.
That'd be fun.
And the trauma the kids would have. Tell her she has a duck outfit to bring it. I'll chase the rabbit.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd like to see that.
There you go. So just so people know, I'm talking to Kathleen Zarenko, and we were talking about the 13th annual Holistic Health and oh my goodness. I was going to say conditioning fair, but that's not what it is.
And community.
Community fair.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's tomorrow from 10 to 4 at the Sunshine Park Mall. And actually, one of our friends that's coming into the studio in the second half hour of the show is Dr. Fawn, and he will also be there with us tomorrow. So you have a lot of our friends and people we like to associate with involved in there. So that's going to be awesome.
Oh, yes. And acupuncture is wonderful, and that's also part of the stress reduction programs that people are participating in at this point.
Well, I tell people all the time when Dr. Fawn comes on, I think the most underused and undervalued service that he has, that he gives to people, is this stress reduction treatment, because that thing just reverses the whole chemistry of your body. I go in there if I've had a bad day, and I go in and get my stress treatment. I walk out and I feel 100% better. I take some of my supplements I have, and boom, I'm off and running.
Yeah.
So it's wise to do that. and we'll be interviewing a successful person from his practice here in the next 5 or 10 minutes when we go to that part of the show. And we don't seem to be getting our transcendental meditation guys, so maybe let's focus on a few more of in the final few minutes we have. Let's focus on a few more of the people that you have coming. You know, Mitch and I will be there. I'm going to have a minor role. Mitch is going to bring. Mitch, you can bring some products and stuff.
Definitely. On the education side, I'm going to bring in the sheet that we handed out with the Align program, so that whole cycle of inflammation that we touched on at the top of the hour. You don't need to take notes. We'll have it there. We've got product samples. There's going to be a raffle. There's some great items that, again, just as a hook to incentivize folks to take a couple of minutes out of their beautiful Saturday to come and see us. And then also I want to remind folks that at both locations, our Port Orange store at 1633 Taylor Road and the 275 Williamson Boulevard main campus, we've got our Latte Love Cafe, where the smoothies and these things that you learn at the health fair will roll over on a daily basis to come and visit us.
And your soup, you've got the best soup.
You bet. It's artisan made, fresh every day.
Kathleen, when people come into the fair, will they register for, or is there any drawings like at the central location so they can register with you, or is there anything like that goes on?
Oh, each vendor will do that individually at their vendor booth.
Okay.
It has become too large to do it at a central location, and especially since there are 4 entrances to the mall. So it gets very, very busy, and it's really hard to control that. So that's why we've encouraged vendors to hold their drawings at their booth, and that has worked out very, very well. We have a lot of vendors bringing baskets, gift baskets to raffle, and things of that nature.
And Love Whole Foods got a couple. We'll have it.
Now, if they want more information, they can call you. They can go to holisticfairs.com, and holistic is spelled with a W, HOLISTIC. And then, or they can call you at 248-1868.
Right, area code 386.
Area code 386, right. Yeah, I forget people listen to us on the internet sometimes, so they could call you from Canada and say, I'm coming down, and I want to come to the seminar you have,
Well, head down now. We're here. We have Easter seals coming. They're going to be demonstrating telephones for people that have hearing challenges. So they'll be there as well tomorrow.
Is there anybody that you're particularly excited about seeing tomorrow, a vendor that's been there? Like, is there a vendor that's been there from the start? Are there a couple of those guys there?
There are, and since my list is so long, it would take some time to go through it. But, yes, there are several that we've had from the very first time. We have a lot of new people and a lot of people that have been with us for many, many years. So it's just wonderful. And I'm excited about everybody coming. I really am. I mean, this is such an exciting fair, something for everyone, and now we have more for children than we've ever had before because we have families coming and also grandparents bringing the children as well.
Right. Well, besides Mitch, and I know you're excited to see Mitch and I.
Absolutely. I am so honored that you will both be there. This is so special. And now there are going to be some demonstrations tomorrow as well. And you have there's an outdoor component because someone's going to bring some cross trainers of some sort for people to demonstrate see exercise on. Okay, good. Yeah. There'll be demonstrations at each of the individual vendor spaces, whether they're demonstrating their product or services or whatever they have. There'll be different things going on. So there's something going on all day long. It's just going to be packed and just chock full of things to do. So it's a fun thing to do the day before Easter. You can come and hang out with the Easter Bunny. Yeah, you might be able to buy some cool little gifts to give to people for that. Yeah, talk about the ultimate commitment to regeneration and resurrection. That's the whole purpose of it. Timing's perfect. Yeah, it is. It really is. It really is. And again, we're honored to have our snowbirds are still here. Many people have called and said that they're glad we're having it before they head back. Good. Kathleen, I'm sorry that we didn't get our guest in with us today, but we'll have some interesting people there tomorrow, and I'm sure as they walk around, the culture is that you can walk to the different booths. They'll be giving a lot of information out, and it's at the Sunshine Park Mall. It's 2400 South Ridgewood. It starts at 10 o'clock tomorrow and goes till 4 o'clock, and they'll have
and many individual sessions. I guess the best way to say it at the booths. You'll have prizes. You're going to have over 100 prizes there to win.
I don't know. I really couldn't promise how many, but we're up to 106 vendors.
Yeah, I mean, if every vendor brings something to give away. Of course, I'm not bringing anything. Mitch is giving away like all the stuff. So
I'm giving Tasso away.
Oh.
I'm giving a date with Tasso.
They're going to return me very quickly.
Yeah, workout date. They got to work for this gift.
All right, so Kathleen, thank you very much.
Oh,
I appreciate
thank
our
you.
role in this, and I hope it's been as good a thing for us as it's been for you. And I think it's going to be great having WNDB. Terry has volunteered to come out, and so we'll look forward to having a great time tomorrow with you at the 13th Annual Holistic Health and Community Fair. And it starts again at the Sunshine Park Mall at 10 a.m., goes till 4. If you need more information, Holistic Fair, spelled with a W.com, and Kathleen's number is 386-248-1868.
Excellent.
All right, and we're going to go to break, and I want to remind people that this is the last weekend of our $13 down, $13 a month special for our fitness program. That's 672-6464. Give us a call. We'd love to get you involved in the program and start your fitness where you're at today and get you to where you truly want to be.
He lives, Christ Jesus lives today.
Hi, my name is Bob Kemp Baird, pastor of the Daytona Beach Drive-In Christian Church. I'd like to invite you to come and worship with us this Easter Sunday, March 31st. Our sunrise service begins at 6:30 Easter Sunday morning and will culminate as we witness the sun coming up over the Atlantic Ocean. You may also choose to come to our resurrection celebration during our regular times of morning worship, 8:30 or 10 o'clock. The church is located at 3140 South Atlantic Avenue in Daytona Beach Shores. Our worship services are always casual, so come and worship in your car or join those who gather in Friendship Hall where there will be fresh coffee and Krispy Kreme donuts between the services. Nursery and Sunday School for children and youth begins at 9:45. From your friends and neighbors at the Drive-In Church, we wish you a blessed Easter season.
Florida Healthcare Plans is excited to announce we now have individual health plans available. Annual physical health screening. Covered in full. Screening mammogram. Covered in full. Screening colonoscopy. Covered in full. Primary care office visit. $20 copay. Specialist office visit. $50 copay. Prescription, maternity, and POS riders are available. Make Florida Healthcare Plans your first choice. For more information, please call 676-7110 or contact www.fhcp.com.
Are you afraid of the number 13? Are you afraid of being unhealthy, overweight, overtired, and just plain fat and worn out? Well, 13 is now your lucky number. Tasso here from Bodez Personalized Fitness in Ormond. That's right, $13 can change your health, energy, and body appearance. $13 starts your fitness membership and $13 a month for the first 3 months of your membership. We'll use our Smart Start Fitness program and our Fitness Passport to begin your program and set you on the path of better health, energy, and fitness. My Bodez team and I will coach you, assist you, and guide you to success. Call 672-6464. That's 672-6464 to set your no-obligation consultation. Remember, $13 down, $13 per month for the first 3 months to start your fitness journey. My staff and I are motivated and committed to you getting results. That's the difference you'll find from the moment you walk in our program and begin your journey. So call 672-6464 to start your fitness program with only $13 down and $13 a month for the first 3 months. And of course, all of our memberships have a 30-day money-back satisfaction guarantee.
Call 239-0033 for Fitness Friday and your host, Tasso Kyriakis. Here's Tasso.
Okay, we had a good time getting the entourage in here, making the turnover from Mitch and getting in here. We got Frank and Bob, the entourage is here. The tough guys are outside. We have a former star in the studio. So anyway, welcome, Faye.
Thank you very much.
You need to talk into this right here. You gotta
have a
move
big-
up. There you
big
go.
mouth.
You know what? If you don't talk into that,
move it
Dr. Fon won't have you on the video over there. Now, Dr. Fon, you've ruined the whole MO I have because Mike Gelati says I have a face for radio, and every time I said it, he says, no, you have a face for AM radio. Oh. So, ooh, right? That hurts. So she brought her bodyguard with her. She brought her doctor with her. So Dr. Fon, tell us a little bit about Faye.
Well, she came to us, I think a couple months ago she barely walked. And I think it's best to let Miss Bossinet describe her condition, and then I think because she's in her 80s, okay, and a lot of people, wow,
no, are you kidding me?
no, look, she look, she looking at 70, but actually she's in her 80, and then the reason why I would like her to be here to share her story, that we have a lot of elderly folks out there who have knee pain, hip, lower back, and shoulders, and neck, and she represent her generations, and I let her describe, the why she came to me, and how I help her, and how she feeling in the last, I've been seeing her about approximately about 10 weeks, and we'll let her describe her conditions.
Okay, Faye.
Yes, dear.
I'm gonna ask you that question. Why, Faye, did you go to Dr. Fawn?
Because I could barely walk,
Right.
and I like to be active, and I hate to take pills.
Okay, very good. So had you ever been to acupuncture before?
Never.
So this was truly teaching. What did they say? Can't teach an old dog new tricks. This
That's
is
right.
truly
An old dog learning.
That's right. So, see, it is possible and that's something we want to make sure that we get to. This whole show is about opening people's minds. It's about the nutritional stuff we do with Mitch and making people understand, and the exercise. In my industry, people think you got to exercise every day, an hour a day, and I say, no, once, twice a week, we get great results. And you're in that group of people that 20% of my one-on-one clients are over 80 years of age. And why is that? Because you're in a generation that was hardworking and you enjoyed being active in life. You enjoyed the things you had. So tell us, when you say you couldn't walk, tell us the kind of pain. Tell us about the pain.
I have osteoarthritis.
Okay.
I first tried a chiropractor, which was a big help. The therapy really helped.
Okay.
But then it got to the point where I couldn't lift the legs. And the only alternative was surgery, and I didn't want surgery.
Now, isn't that amazing? Because I'd be willing to bet, I'd stake my reputation on this, that her inability to lift her legs and a lot of her loss of function was nothing more than strength. And what you've done, Dr. Fawn, is open those nerve pathways and gotten it realigned, so now the brain communicates better to the muscle. And we have 65% of our people who are in convalescent homes are there because they don't have the strength to walk up a three-step flight with carrying a 5-pound bag of groceries. They're at risk of fall on that. And one of the machines I like to say I invented because it makes me sound important, but I didn't really invent it. I sort of copied another company, and I worked with the company I was working with, and I had there were a few original ideas on it. Is in dealing with your age group, I deal with a lot of people who have hip and knee replacements. Mm-hmm. And those people get to where they have to get their range of motion back. And that retraining of them is very important. And that re-strengthening of the muscle group is very important. So we've invented this little machine that allows them easy access, and it's more like a little stepper, and it doesn't wear and tear. So, from my end, we'd be strengthening you, but Dr. Fawn has allowed the body to communicate to itself to be. So tell us how long you went there that first day. You really were looking at surgery. You couldn't walk. How long, how many treatments did it take before you said, wow, I think this stuff is working?
I think about 6 treatments. The first day I went there, I could not get up on the table.
Right.
I had a very hard time getting up on the table. And then when I went home, I could move a little bit more. The second week, I could bend over. I could not bend over.
Okay.
My daughter's solution was to move everything from the bottom cabinets to the top cabinets.
Right.
I can't do that.
Right.
And also, I never realized, people come to my house and say, do you have a straight back chair? And I say, what do they want a straight back chair? And I became one of those people.
Right, one of those people, because you had to have it.
Yes, and I think if you cannot move, you become very depressed.
Right.
And I'm not a person that suffers from depression.
And then when you're depressed, you're probably beating poor Bob over there.
Oh, doesn't he look it?
Yeah, he looks it. Like, I was wondering why you had those ears out there like that, Bob. She pulls you around by those things we weren't doing, she said, right?
No, that's from all my talking.
So you saw from the very first, and you're one of those people I say, people go to Dr. Fawn. Unfortunately, people go to Dr. Fawn because they run out of options. And Dr. Fawn likes to go, before you cut, I come to me, and that's, when they cut that little earth bag open you got, they can't repair that. That's done. It's a done deal. It's over. That's there. And the trigger point myotherapy, the myofascial interruption to your muscular structure there is done. and it usually will cause more problems than that. How many surgeries do we hear about? Back surgeries is a good example because we tend to think about acupuncture as a back surgery issue. But acupuncture or back surgery, 30% success rate is all they have. And in fact, they have a thing called, they have a back pain after you've had a surgery for back pain. It's called the failed back pain syndrome pain pattern that you need to have, acupuncture to cure, right, Dr. Fahn?
Yes, it's a post-rehab. Acupuncture can help if you still had pain after surgery. Acupuncture can be a great possibility of help.
Because it just it reboots the body, as you like to say. And then so the first part of the show, we talked about stress, and I mentioned in the first part, I don't know if you could hear out there, but I mentioned that I think one of those undervalued services that you offer is to come in and get that stress reduction treatment, like I come and try and get once a week or once every 10 days, because it revives the body. It brings the balance back to the body. Now, here's the question I'd love to ask everybody. Did you have a fear of needles when you went to Dr. Fahn?
Never.
Never.
I never feared it.
Oh, tough guy. You're a tough guy. Bob, she would have beat me up, too. Should have been beating me up because I was afraid of needles. She would have been the one that goes, I'll stick this needle in you. What did you do before you, beat up on Bob?
I was an assistant librarian.
Oh, okay. One of the librarians, the quiet types, huh? You got to watch them.
Strong but quiet.
Strong but quiet. So now we have you. The second question I like to ask people is, the pain starts to go away. You start to feel like you're moving around a little bit better and stuff like that. But let me ask you this. Did you see other things improve? Did you see things like sleep? Did you see things like your normal daily functions? Did any of that improve?
Anxiety improved.
It got better.
It got better.
Okay, it didn't get more. You didn't get more anxiety.
We got better.
Okay.
The movements increased almost 100%. The steps I'm still working with. And that's when I really got concerned. I love to swim.
That's when you come to me. That's what I do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I swim, and I couldn't get up the steps out of the pool.
Oh, boy. Okay.
So I'm anxious to try that as soon as the weather warms up.
And one of the things I want people to understand about acupuncture, we tend to go to it because of a specific problem. But the thing I've learned in almost 4 years now, right, Dr. Fahn of
Yes.
WD, is that what we learn from acupuncture is a systemic cure. It balances the body. Everything, the sleep gets better. You handle the anxiety better. Your range of motion. You went there for pain, and your range of motion's getting better. So those types of things are the things that we see demonstrated by people, and it gets to be a common thread story. Although you weren't afraid of needles, we have people afraid of needles, and it's no big thing to be afraid of because they're really micro healing filaments, right, Dr. Fahn?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, and he's so gentle. I mean, half the times he'll say, "Do you feel it?" I said, "Are you finished?" I don't
that's
even
right.
know that.
I remember I took my daughter. My daughter is grossly fearful of needles. That's where she was a chip off the old block. So she comes with me, and Dr. Fahn says, "Oh, I'm not going to put a needle in." He says, "I'm going to just do this," and so she go on like, she said, "Okay, I think I could try a needle." I go, "Honey, the needle's been in there for like 5 minutes." I said, "It's not a needle. It's a micro healing filament." So it really is. It's like a little. At the worst case, it's maybe a bee sting is what I'd call it. That's the worst case. Most of the times, it's not even that, right, Dr. Fahn?
Yes, and Tasso, there's a lot of big fear. People, fear of not receiving an formal education or exposure to acupuncture, or a big fear factor about these tiny. We call it in the Asian cultures micro healer because it's as tiny as your hair size, but it had the ability to reduce inflammation, to improve flexibility, to modulate the chemicals that influx to the joint, so we prevent that from attacking your joint. So there's more benefits than people realize.
Right, and I know this for myself. My girlfriend says to me, she says, I can't believe how easy you sleep after the days you have, and how do you work so hard and go the hours you go. And the reason is because I could fall asleep today. Faith, close your eyes, I'll be asleep. So but I can sleep easy because number one, I work hard. Number two is I don't have a lot on my mind other than my work and my family. And number three is I think that it's helped me because I go right to bed. I'm out. And that's a problem in your age group of people being in the 70s and 80s. They suffer from insomnia. And I think that if you were to try and track it, you'll see that your sleep will get better quality and probably longer durations in that REM is what you'll see. You'll get up, you'll be more refreshed is the one thing I've noticed. I can sleep 3 hours and get up and I'm refreshed. I'm ready to go from that standpoint. So any other things, like if you had a friend, how would you recommend to them to come and take acupuncture?
How would I recommend? I would say don't sit home in pain. Move.
Pain is not a lifestyle. Dr. Fon wants you to know that, right?
That's right. That don't allow that pain word in your vocabulary. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
And you just say to them, if your roof was falling down, you'd fix it, right?
That's right. That's
so
right.
you get up and you move. And movement is very important.
Right. Well, I keep trying to get Dr. Fon to come teach Tai Chi because he has a background.
I wish you would.
And that's a wonderful thing for range of motion mobility from that standpoint. Any other insights you would have to because we are trying to open people's minds, and it has to be more than pain, because there's other dysfunctions that Dr. Fon can help that are hormonal. It's people for weight loss, it's people with addictions, it's people with depression. Those sometimes don't carry the pain that you were feeling because you couldn't walk. But anything that you've noticed that since you've been going to acupuncture?
Well, I'm much more relaxed. I mean, when you lose the pain in your life,
right,
the whole door opens up, and he's certainly done that for me.
Good. Okay.
Dr.
Fon, anything you'd like to say?
Absolutely. I like to share, she's a very special case that I like to bring in here and educate our community that, don't shut the doors. You just, like you say, sometimes you say there's more pain than you tried acupuncture, but don't wait until the last resort, because you tried everything, and sometimes as a human we get discouraged. You try, sometimes the conventional therapy doesn't work and you get discouraged. Okay, like her, she tried conventional, but it still couldn't lift her legs up, couldn't move around, so her lower back bothered her. And based on the current research, that acupuncture is right now is the leading treatment in spine, regardless you have a neck or lower back. As long as it relates to spine, it's tremendously improved not only the flexibility, the pain, but also promote the healing of the tissue. Because acupuncture is, I don't know how to describe in depth so people understand, because the bone tissue need a longer time to heal. So when I treat spine, I always tell patient, you got to give me a little bit of time than just sprained ankle. And sprained ankle, I can treat anywhere from 2 or 5 sessions. I'm done, because all I need to do is just rearrange the ligament. So, straighten out the ligament and stabilize the ligament, and you're done. It's a very simple case. Or headaches. If you have a stressful day and you have a tension headache, you come in, you relieve right away, because I'm going to normalize the blood circulations, the neurologicals, the brain biochemicals pathway, and then you feel relaxed because the input and the output of the chemicals are normal. But when you deal with spines, you have to understand the ligament that support. Sometimes the ligament too tight, you need to loosen up on one side and you strengthen on the other side. And sometimes the spine need to be aligned perfectly. I need to use a traction technique to straighten those spine.
And one of the things that I think I never realized when I came, and I don't know how it played into Faye's program, but I never realized that acupuncture could help alignment, could help flexibility. We work together with a client we have that has spinal stenosis, and now this client came to me with the shuffle of being 74 years old, which I thought was ahead of as active as this individual is. And they did yoga every day and things of that nature, and still they were progressing in this line of a lot of pain through the hamstrings and the glutes and that, and then they were getting the shuffle, quite frankly. And when they walk now, they began to get a lot of pain. And this, in that case for us, we can actually see that person's flexibility of his hamstrings would allow him to spread his legs about 35 degrees when he first started. Today, the other day I did his measurement. He's been working out 2 times a week. He's been using that new machine that I'm responsible for, and he's been doing his strength training program. Yesterday when I measured him, he's 74 degrees flexibility. He's doubled his flexibility. Now, the interesting part is that in the first half of his program, we made gains of about 11 to 12 degrees since I finally got him, because he was one of those guys that was fighting, and his son says, well, Dad, the next step for you is surgery, and I don't really like surgery. And so he said, okay, what's next? And I said, we got to go see acupuncture. And the son agreed with it, and he came to you, and he's benefited. So we've seen in the same time frame, we've seen a 20 degree change compared to the 12-degree change that I was able to manifest in the first 6 weeks of his program. It's a slow process. The pain is less, but now his activity level is much more. He's able to do things he wasn't, and you're experiencing the exact same thing, I believe, in what you're doing. And these things are very critical to us because we're passionate about what we do.
Right, absolutely.
And you tell me if you didn't have this experience. Whenever Dr. Fahn's on the show, if we're talking about headaches, Dr. Fahn will quote you a research article that says, acupuncture, #1 for headaches, okay? If we talk about the third toe on your left finger hurting, or third toe on your left foot hurting, Dr. Fahn will have a research article that says, acupuncture, #1 for pain in the left toe on the third toe on the left foot, right? So I tell people, I said, you're going to go to this guy, and he's going to tell you that it's #1 because he believes in what he can do. And he'll give you, a lot of times he gives people numbers. He says, it's going to take 24 treatments. It's going to take 32 treatments. I said, you have to be willing to invest in that and have confidence because it's not, you and I had good results. The first day, although you said, it took a couple weeks for you to feel, you said something in describing to me that you could go home that day and you could move better already. That for you and I, it was instantaneous. When I went, I had a pain in my hip that if I laid on my back within 5 minutes, I had burning sensation down both my legs. The first day I went to Dr. Fahn, he put 3 of those little micro-healing damn needles in me, right? They didn't hurt when they went in, so I fell asleep on the table. Do you fall asleep?
No.
Oh, you don't?
I talk too much.
You talk too much. Well, listen, Dr. Fahn's probably willing to talk to you. he's going to get he's going to teach McKinsey to go in and talk to people now. So now what happens is I fell asleep on the table. First of all, I was amazed that I could lay on my back on the table for the 20 or 30 minutes that I was there. I got up. I said, wow, I sort of slept, and now I wake myself up because I'm snoring when I'm on the table. So that'll be the next thing I have to work on is my snoring. Mm-hmm. So now I get up. I go home that night. I sleep an hour and a half. I'm laying on my back, and I wake up, and I go, hey, I'm not in pain. And I go like, wow, this acupuncture stuff really works. So next time I went to him, I said, you can put more needles in, it'll make it heal faster, because that was the thing. So from that standpoint, we saw almost immediate results, but that's not the case with everybody. Everybody doesn't see instantaneous. I think especially when people come to you with shoulder problems, I think that's a problem that is deep-seated and needs a lot of patience with. I think some of the sciatica issues will heal just like that. I've had probably 25 people I've sent to you in the past year for sciatic type discomfort. Mm-hmm. I'd say that 10 out of the 25, the first 3 treatments, massive change in the thing. The other 15, I had to go stick with it. And one day they come in and go, you know what? My pain down my leg isn't there today. So it's and you have a pretty good grip on that, and you communicate with the. He's good to communicate, right? Faye talks to you.
But you never realize how bad the pain was. You forget it. Once you have a few treatments, you forget how miserable you were before you came.
And you know what they say? This is from Psychology Today. There's an article that says they assess pain in our evaluation of pain, and they say that if you can see a difference or feel a difference in the reduction of pain in your body, you've actually dissipated that pain by 90% when they actually did endorphin measures and things like that. So we do forget. We forget how bad it was. We forget that that when we're in pain, we go, I'm never going to do that again. You see people go in the hospital for doing something stupid. You go like. They go, I'm never going to do that. And the next day, they're doing the same thing. They go, well, I feel good. That was just an episode. I got your episode for you right here. So do you have anything else you'd like to say? Because we're just cruising right along. We have 7 minutes left in the show.
Well, if anyone is sitting at home afraid of needles or of acupuncture, certainly get up out of the sofa and go and see your acupuncturist.
Well, your acupuncturist would be Dr. Fahn at 615-1203, 615-1203. Make him your acupuncturist because you would enjoy the experience. I think it's a neat experience. I actually got to go there last week and got my toenails trimmed by Jen. Yes, I get pedicures. So all my buddies tease me, you get a pedicure? I go, yeah, I get a pedicure. They put that stuff on. No, I won't let her put the stuff on it. So just get them cut because they look like claws, and she takes care of it. Mm-hmm. So, but there's a lot of other services there, and we don't talk about Jen enough because she does a lot of good things in the office. She's really his better half, don't you agree?
Yes.
There you go. All right. So she's happy. She's pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to ask her if she knows how to sing so we can take up the next 6 minutes. I think she said it all when she told people to call you and get in there and get going.
Oh, they have to. You have to live until you die.
Okay, so let me ask you, live until you die. So let me ask you something. You're 80-something years old, right? What's your secret to enjoying life?
Good husband and great kids.
Where'd Bob come into the picture? I mean, he was your bodyguard. He said, "Oh, I get it now. Okay, I got it."
My daughter said to me, "You're going to go on the air and tell everybody you're 80." I said, "No, I'm going to use your name."
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, and see, I think people should be proud of how they are. I'm coming up on 60. I'm proud to say, listen, I'm walking around and doing what I'm doing.
That's
and
right.
We've earned the life we live, and that's why we take care of our bodies. That's why I seek out people like Dr. Fawn and Mitch from Love Whole Foods. I mean, we want to put the best we can put into our bodies and make our life the best. And as a result, I think it pays off, and we should be able to enjoy our lives when we get to this point. And I think that's something that you're showing us.
Well, don't be intimidated by a number.
That's right.
How
old do you think?
You're 60. When I was 60, I could run around like crazy.
So tell me something. How old do you think you are mentally?
20.
20. I got you.
Frozen at 20.
You're frozen at 20. Well, I always think, I still remember being 18. I think I'm 18 years old. And I got to tell you, because of Dr. Fawn and because of the nutrition I've been doing, I think that in combination with my workout, we have a theme with Mitch at Love Whole Food, and the theme is love, laugh, lift. Okay, you got to love your body. You got to love the food you put in your body. You got to love the things you do to your body. Part of the love for me is I make time to go see Dr. Fawn. Part of the laugh is we have good times. We enjoy life. Because when he takes the stress off, I'll go in there someday and say, he'll go, "How you feel?" I go, "Stress out, Dr. Fawn, take care of me." Oh, he said, "We give you a good stress reduction. We give you good stress treatment today."
Tasso, I think a lot of younger folks with pressure within college or graduate work, and a lot of people having stress and mild depression or depression in general would definitely I think utilize acupuncture. I think we are, like you say, is underused therapy, and acupuncture help balance the brain chemistry, the hormone, and sometimes the hormone out wax. It really make you feel gloomy or sad, and I hope that our community. There's a lot of information on internet. Google it. The one of the best website is I recommend is acupuncturetoday.com. acupuncturetoday.com. And you learn a lot on this website. And you have any from cancer treatment. Probably next time I will bring a special guest. Mayo Clinic and I were working together to save this gentleman's life. On throat cancer. It's benign and local, and I use very bitter herbs and acupuncture. We destroy his cancer on the throat, and the Mayo Clinic the surgeon actually say, we don't need to operate you. After PET scan, your hot spot on your throat is clear.
Right.
And the surgeon was impressed, by my procedure. But those, this is the secret. I don't want to unfold too much because our community are not ready to accept acupuncture and herbal to treat benign tumors, and that is something I want to bring in the future.
And Dr. Fawn, I want to make this clear: is they can go find a lot of acupuncturists, okay? Because as I told you when I came, I'd been to an acupuncturist before I'd been to you. Did not have the experience that I had with you. So I think just like when people look for a personal trainer, I say, look. I've been doing this 35 years. I don't care how smart someone is coming out. I don't care what school they went to. They're not going to be as good as I am because they don't have that life experience of treating thousands of people. I have a gentleman that came to me with a back problem. He's been to 4 fitness centers. In his first 2 workouts with me, he feels better and he is doing better. Why is that? Because I've treated 1,000 back problems. You've treated thousands of people with neck and back and shoulder issues. There is something to be said for the 18 years. It has to be 18 years because when I met you, it was 14 years. 18 years experience you have as a Chinese physician, and there is something to be said for the herbology background that you bring to you. And I want people to remember the 3 takeaway points of the show when I started, where stress is normal, some kinds of stress are good. And you can learn to better manage that stress with tools like acupuncture and yoga and exercise and those types of things. And the other thing is that it can affect us psychologically and physiologically. And I want people to understand that from the standpoint of acupuncture, it goes beyond just pain. It goes to changing the system. So Dr. Fahn's number is 615-1203. He's located on West Granada, 725 West Granada. And my son-in-law is actually opening a restaurant right across the street from you, and by Biz Cards, across from the Office Depot. It's called, I forgot the name of it now. It's called the Buffington's Bar and Grill. Buffington's Bar and Grill. And it's going to be opening this week, and I've menus for it at the club. So stop by and see them. It used to be the old Espanola restaurant. Bodez by Tasso and Company. Last weekend, the $13 down, $13 a month promotion. Get with us, 672-6464. God bless and enjoy Easter.
WNDB, Daytona Beach, first in local news. Fox News updates at the top of every hour. Online at newsdaytonabeach.com.